Hello, Amelia here. Do you ever notice that your brain is really good at focusing on what's not working in your life? Do you ever notice how hard it is to actually turn off that negative mind chatter? Well, there's a reason for that. Dr. Martin Seligman, the founder of the field of positive psychology, points out that our brain is sort of pre-wired for that, meaning that our brain is like our tongue. It's meant to swivel around in our mouth, find something that's not working, and then fixate on it. Keep coming back to it over and over again. Have you ever bitten the inside of your cheek, and then no matter how much you try to take your tongue to the left, it keeps going to the right? Take your tongue to the left, it keeps going to the right? Well, there's a reason for that. And that's because it's meant to protect us from the things that would be coming in through a really important organ in our body and prevent us from getting sick, getting hurt, whatever it might be. Your tongue doesn't swivel around in your mouth and go, it's a nice healthy tooth. Clean, shiny. It's not really wired to do that. Sure, you can do that, but it doesn't really do that automatically. And our brain is sort of like that too, meaning that it really fixates or has a tendency to want to worry about what isn't working, about the possible future harm that is out there. And when things go bad, it keeps coming back to it over and over and over again because it's wired for that. Meaning our ancestors that were really good at seeing the tiger, getting really scared, and then running away, or worrying about what if this happens, what if this happens, what if the food that we have now suddenly goes bad, what if someone steals our food. Those people were much more likely to survive by planning ahead, by getting more resources, than our ancestors who were like, oh, what a beautiful day, we have lots of food, let's just eat all our food. So our brain really took on those qualities of being primed for the negative. And Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, one of the leaders in the field of positive psychology, has actually proven to us why it's really important that we consciously build the positive in our life. And we're going to be talking about some techniques for doing that. The question Barbara Fredrickson asked was, what good are positive emotions? Meaning we understood from a scientific perspective that our ancestors that didn't have the ability to feel angry, or to feel anxiety, or to feel disgust, or to feel embarrassment, they weren't as likely to survive as ancestors that were. However, what good are joy, hope, love, contentment, optimism, hope? What do those positive emotions do? Is the only reason that we feel love so that we have the ability to procreate? Or is there more to these positive emotions? What Dr. Barbara Fredrickson's research shows is that positive emotions enable us to broaden and build our resources. Meaning, when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling joyful, people are more likely to be able to think outside the box. Negative emotions narrow our focus, positive emotions broaden our focus. Think about it. When you have a stubbed toe or you hit your toe, it's really hard to think about AIDS in Africa, or it's very hard to think about what someone else is thinking or saying or doing because you're so focused on something that's not working in your life. Likewise, the same thing happens with any kind of emotion that you're feeling. Positive emotions, on the other hand, enable you to see more resources around you. Her research shows that people are more likely to connect with others, they're able to think outside the box, and that positive emotions enable us to increase the amount of resources we have. So what she also found is that there's a critical ratio for flourishing in your life, meaning it's not a one-to-one experience of positive emotions to negative emotions. Think back to a time where someone gave you criticism or some feedback on something that you wrote. Say they told you one thing that worked about what you wrote and then one thing that you needed to improve. What do you think stuck out in your mind? The thing that you needed to improve, right? And do you ever notice how you just keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it? The reason for that is because of this negativity bias, because of how wired we are for the negative. It's really important to really accent the positive in your life. And it's not a one-to-one thing. One positive does not equal one negative when we talk about positive to negative emotions. What Dr. Fredrickson's research shows is that in order to live a flourishing life, in order to flourish in any domain, it's really important to have at least 3 positive to every 1 negative experience. So if you're giving feedback to someone and you want to be able to have that idea of flourishing, you want to give them 3 positive things as well as maybe that one negative thing. Really quick, let me tell you about the research that they did. They looked at high performance work teams and low performance work teams. And what they found was that the high performance work teams had this ratio of at least 3 positive to every 1 negative times that they gave feedback, times that they expressed how interested they were in what the person was talking about, as opposed to the low performance teams, which barely even met a 1-to-1 ratio of positive to negative emotions. But here's how you can use that research in your life. Meaning your brain doesn't naturally just do and focus on what's working. It's up to you to take what is working in your life and accent it, to get more of it, to actually consciously build that ratio of positive to negative yourself. Meaning when you hear the negative thoughts pop inside your head, look at them, question them, and maybe build more positive things going on inside of your mind, such as what are you grateful for? What do you want to do in the future? Who do you care about? How do people care about you? What are your strengths? What is working? And the idea that we're not going to naturally do these things. Think about it. Do you ever stay up all night thinking about all the wonderful things going on in your life? Usually you're laying in bed, the reason you're up all night and you can't fall asleep is because that negativity bias is turned on. You're thinking of one negative thing and then another and then another. So the way that you can actually build the flourishing in your life, increase your happiness, is consciously put it in and consciously broaden and build the way that you think outside the box. I'll share with you the way that I use this with my coaching clients all the time. If a client comes to me and they want to start a new career, then it's really hard to get them to think creatively about all the things that they can do if they're stuck in this negativity bias. Because as we mentioned, negative emotions are specifically meant to make you narrow your focus. Like we said about the tiger, you never imagined our ancestors running away from a tiger thinking, oh look, nice day out. Or, oh, those berries look good, let me stop and grab some of those. It's like, I gotta get out of there really quickly because, again, it narrows our focus. Same thing with when my clients come to me. If they're in a depression, or if they're anxious, or they're sad, or they're feeling hopeless, then they're not going to be able to think creatively out of the box to get themselves to the next career path that they want to get to. So the first thing we start with is building the positivity, building the positive emotions. And amazing things happen once they start to do that. Once they start to notice, well, this is actually still working in my life. And I do actually have resources. I have people that care about me, and I have these strengths, and here are things that I can be grateful for. Suddenly they go, oh, well, look at this career opportunity. That happened. That's happening around me. Or they're able to think about what brings them alive and what their strengths are and how to use those skills in different ways. So it's really important that you take active, conscious control of your life, of your emotions, and build a positive back end. A powerful, powerful way to increase your happiness and your life satisfaction.